Hey guys, welcome back to the Crochet with Kelsey channel. So we have a market today, so I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride, and I'm looking out my window right now and it looks like it's definitely going to rain. There is some rain on the forecast today, so I'm really hoping that that doesn't deter people from coming to the market, and I also hope that all of my inventory can stay dry. So I will be recording some updates throughout the market. I'll be showing you my booth, and then at the end of the video I will be recapping everything that sold and how much money I made. Fingers crossed for a good day. And of course it is pouring. Luckily, whenever we started setting up, it wasn't raining, so we were able to get the tent up. But as for what I feel like I can put out right now, it's really not a lot, and I think we're just gonna have to wait to put out more inventory until it clears up a little bit, which it doesn't look like it's going to anytime soon. So here is my booth with very limited inventory on it. The sides of my tent are like getting wet, like my tablecloths are getting wet, so I couldn't really put anything on the side. And as you can see, it's definitely raining. But here's what my booth looks like right now. So as you can see, there's not really a whole lot out, so I will keep y'all posted. Hopefully it clears up a little later in the day and we will be able to still sell some stuff. But yep, I guess that's just what you sign up for when you sign up for a rain or shine event. And nobody really seems very happy to be here, but neither am I. So it's about 30 minutes since the market started, and luckily it did stop raining maybe about 20 minutes ago, so I was able to set up a little bit more and kind of get everything situated. So I'm going to show y'all what my booth looks like now. So some things did get a little bit wet, but overall it looks pretty much how it normally does. I am not putting as much stuff on the table today because it is a little wet, and I kind of have a lot of things on my little stands to prevent them from being on the table. We got our mystery boxes out now, our little bookmarks, our smaller items and our larger items, and that dinosaur just fell. Got Charizard out. So yeah, and last but not least, we have the claw machine. I'm hoping it's a good day today. I will walk around in a little bit to kind of show y'all some of the other booths that are here, and yeah, let's just hope it doesn't rain again today. So we're about an hour in and I've sold 2 items so far. So I sold a little $12 ditto and I sold a chicken car mirror charm. So off to a good start, I'd say, with the rough beginning that we've had today. But I also spent some money to go get a matcha. So that was $6 with my vendor discount. So it is now about 2 o'clock, the market ends at 6, and we have yet to break even. So that's a little worrisome, but I have been crocheting. I brought some yarn to start working on a minotaur pattern, which I'm super excited about. So even though it hasn't been super busy, I'm glad I brought something to kind of help pass the time. And I'm about to walk around and look at some different booths, and I'm also going to try to find something to eat. So wish me luck. And those are my little minotaur legs. Nothing really looked that good, and I'm not super hungry just because it is really hot outside, so I ended up paying $7 for this little order of fries. So we have about 2 hours left of the market, and it's not going too well. We just broke even, so we just made around the $185 that it costs to be here. So in 2 hours it could turn around, but with how the day started, it's been an interesting market day. We now have about an hour and a half left. I really haven't sold that many more items. I did make some progress on my Minotaur plushie though. So this is all I really felt like making today since it's just so hot, and I don't know, my hands get sweaty when I'm outside crocheting in the heat, but that's the little body and the arms, so at least I have some of that done for the next time that I work on it. And I would show y'all what my booth looks like, but it looks pretty much the same as when I set up this morning, the second time after it stopped raining. But I will check in with you guys tomorrow or the next day and kind of go over what sold and the market results, how much money I made, and if this market was worth it or not, because at this point I'm not really 100% sure. So it's a new day. It has been a few days since the market, and let me just say that market completely drained me. I think it was something about having to set up when it was raining outside that just like really took a toll on me emotionally, and it was really frustrating not being able to put out all of my inventory and be like totally ready by the time that the market is like open to the public. So yeah, we just kind of set up everything. Luckily, we did get the tent up before it started raining super hard, and my plushies are also stored in like waterproof bags, so nothing got ruined, which was great. And it does make me happy to sell plushies at a time like that, whereas if I would have had something that was more sensitive to water, you know, my products could have totally gotten ruined. Yeah, I know I wasn't in the best spirits in my previous videos, but you know, I'm glad that we did it. I think that the day really started turning around whenever it dried up a little bit, and in Dallas it gets really hot, so a lot of the people that I was talking to at my booth actually didn't even know it rained that day, so I guess it didn't really take a toll on the attendance of the market, which is great. I will say that I have done this market before and it's gone okay. Like, I don't make a ton of profit usually, so I really wasn't expecting to make a whole lot at this market. And the booth fee is a $185 charge, and the event is called the Bishop Bazaar. So basically this one street in Bishop Arts is blocked off with vendors, and it's just kind of like you walk the street and then there's a food area and like a grass field to the side, and that's where we were this time. So there were like some food trucks, some different food vendors, and we were kind of in that area. So it was a different location, so I'm not really sure if as many people were coming over there than were walking on the main street, but it still seemed like there were a pretty good amount of people at the event overall. But yeah, it was kind of funny because whenever we finished like kind of setting up whatever we could, we just kind of huddled together in the center of the tent so that we wouldn't get wet with our rain jackets on, and it was just kind of a funny little sight probably to everyone else. Yeah, it definitely made the day not go as smoothly as you can probably imagine. But let's go ahead and get into what I sold throughout the day and how much money I made, and if the market is worth it and if I'll do it again. So out of all of the Pokemon that I made, so I made some little Eevees, I made some little Dittos, and I made a couple of Pikachus. I made 2 of each. One of each of them sold, so I'm glad that I had 2 because now I have some that I can take to my next market. So I sold 1 Ditto, 1 Pikachu, and 1 Eevee from my $12 basket. I sold a total of 4 Carmere charms. I sell those for $15 each, and they're the little animals or creatures that are on swings. And I sold 2 chicks, which I'm really glad I made the chicks because I usually don't make the chicks and I make chickens instead. But I did sell both of the ones that I made, so I'll definitely be keeping that in mind as I'm prepping for my next market. And then I also sold 1 of my chickens, and then I also sold a monkey as well. And I've had that monkey for a long time, so I'm glad that it found a new car that it can swing in. I sold a total of 3 items from my $10 bin, which is a lot less than expected because at my previous market, that is like the basket that everyone was going for. So again, I don't know if it was because of the location or if my booth setup was just like a little bit different, but that was kind of surprising to me. But out of the $10 items, I sold a little heart and a seahorse from Zach's crochet book that he is releasing soon. And then I sold a pocket patootie cat. So out of all of those little pocket patooties I made, I only sold one of them. But I'm just thinking that this is kind of an off market because usually my $10 items like fly out of the basket. And this was another surprise. I only sold 2 mystery boxes, and mystery boxes are usually my best-selling items. So that was kind of a surprise to me, but I'm glad that I made a lot because I'm probably not gonna have to market prep any for my next market because I still have, I think, like 12 to 14 left over. I think I brought 16, so I think I might even have more. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I know that I have plenty for my display and I probably don't need to focus on those for next time. I had a total of 5 people play the claw machine, and I sell the claw machine plays, play until you win, for $5. And I had 5 people play that, and the most popular item that people were getting from the claw machine was the little octopus. I sold 2 of the little octopi from Sweet Softies pattern, and then I sold 2 of the little chicks that I made. And then the other one that I sold was a little cat. As for my other $12 items that sold, I sold 1 of my little dragons, and I sold a little orange cat as well, little orange loaf cat. And I also didn't sell as many keychains as I usually do at this market. So I ended up selling a total of 7 keychains. I sell those for $8 each. So I ended up selling 4 chick keychains, 1 little bear keychain, and both of those patterns are from my claw machine pattern bundle pack. And then I also sold 1 little octopus keychain and 1 rainbow keychain. So I made the rainbow keychains kind of on a whim. I made 2 of them, so I'm glad that 1 of them sold and it wasn't for nothing. So those are all the like smaller items that I sold. And then I only sold 3 items that were like over $20. So I sold 1 little cat. It was actually to one of my friends who has a 3-year-old daughter. I was trying to just like give her something, but they insisted that they pay. So it was a little Siamese cat from Crafted for Comfort's pattern. And they actually have a cat that looks very similar. So she named it after her cat. She named it Sophie. So that was really cute. And then my friend sent me a video of her playing with it in the car, and she kept showing it to the camera and saying meow. So that was super cute. I love having a friend that has kids that I can like give plushies to. So like every time I go over there, I'll usually bring a little plushie for her, and it's just like really cool to see people enjoying them like in the real world. I also sold my Crumble the Monster, which is a Patreon exclusive pattern that I had for the month of May. So these people came up to my booth, and this guy kept looking at particularly Crumble the Monster, and he was like, "Do you make all of these?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "Even this one?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's just a different kind of yarn because I use Feels Like Bliss yarn to make those." And we started talking a little bit, and he's actually from France. He's here in Dallas working the World Cup. So it was really interesting to kind of talk to him. I told him that I want to go to France someday, and he seemed surprised. And I asked kind of how he was enjoying his time and stuff. So it was really cool to get to connect with somebody from out of the country during one of my markets. And it's just, I don't know, it's just cool the way that crochet can kind of introduce you to new people. And so he ended up buying the Crumble the Monster, and that one will be going back to France. So that's kind of exciting. And then the last larger item that I sold, so this girl came up and she picked up the Highland cow and the bunny from Snuggle Beans Crochet's patterns, and she was like showing them to her significant other, and she like kept going back and forth, but she ended up buying the bunny. So I sold that little bunny for $40. So yeah, none of my like giant or like highly priced items sold, which is always kind of a bummer because I just have so much inventory of those larger items from pattern tests, from writing patterns, that I kind of feel like I need to get rid of, and I like keep seeing them every time I set up for a market. But
I'm glad that I sold a few of my items that aren't necessarily larger, but they're priced a little bit higher. So after telling you everything that I sold, you might be thinking, oh, okay, that's a pretty good day. But you also have to account for the booth fee. So the market was from 11 to 6. We got there at about 9:15, so it was a long day for us. I also bought a matcha and I bought some fries for $7. So, you know, that kind of takes out of my earnings as well. So I made a total of $385 in sales, and then the booth fee was $185. So I profited $200. So I don't know, like thinking about how much I would be per hour, it's not bad, but I pretty much spent half of my earnings, I guess, on the booth fee. So I don't know, like I always just do okay at this one. Like I'm glad that I made money. It could have been a lot worse. There have been markets where I don't even make my booth fee back. I'm not sure if I'll do another one of these this year. This is kind of like a special, like, oh, I need to fill like this weekend, like I want to do a market in a couple of weekends. Oh, the Bishop Bazaar probably has some spots. And yeah, I was just kind of in a sour mood because I was like, why wouldn't they cancel the event whenever it's raining? But when I signed up for it, I knew it was rain or shine. So I know that these are just things that we have to deal with. But whenever you're actually in the moment, you're like, okay, this kind of sucks. But it was a good day. I got to have a lot of good conversations with different people, and a lot of people seemed interested in crochet, so I gave them a business card and told them I have like some tutorials and stuff on my YouTube channel, so hopefully I'll be able to connect with some people online. I did have a couple of people inquire about custom orders, so I haven't gotten any emails yet from it, but if I get 1 or 2 custom orders from just being there, it'll definitely be more worth it. So I'm probably not going to do any more Bishop Bazaars this year. It is a really good market though. They did have, as you probably saw when I was like walking, there were 2 other crochet booths that were on the main street, so I was like kind of to the side, and I've always made more money when I'm on the main street, so that could have been a factor of why maybe I didn't make so much. I'm like 98% sure one of the booths is a drop ship flower crochet booth, and it's the same vendor. I see her at so many events, and I remember one time I walked up and I was like, do you make all of these? She's like, me and my family do, and I was like, you and your family? Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird to think like, okay, everyone in my family, I give them a crochet hook and some yarn and we're all able to produce exactly the same thing. So I don't know if that's like what she just tells people or not, but maybe her family does crochet. I don't know. It's just really hard to tell sometimes. And I really appreciated the last market that I did because I was the only crocheter there. There was only like one of every type of booth. And I could tell like a lot of thought went into like who the vendors are, and they wanted to make sure that their event was like curated and also worth it for the vendors. And although the booth fee for that one was more expensive, I would much rather be there than somewhere that potentially has drop shippers. I'll definitely do the boho market again. Absolutely love that one, even though it's expensive. But the other crochet booth, they were selling like jewelry, and then they had like a bunch of those like little keychains. I'm sure you see them. They're like this big, but they're like kind of intricate designs. Like they're little animals that have like arms and stuff. And if I went on AliExpress or Shein or Temu or whatever, I could probably find them because she had like 4 of each of them. And I'm like, kind of seems like a lot for something that like intricate. And I think she was selling them for like $12 or something. So I don't know. Possibly dropship. The fact that she had that on the side also with like jewelry kind of made me think that she was a dropshipper, but I didn't talk to her because like I'm wearing my Crochet with Kelsey shirt, so I know that they'll maybe see that and be like, oh, it's like a crochet, or like act cool, like act like you did this. But it would be so funny to go up to them and be like, what's your favorite stitch? Are you familiar with the bobble stitch, the popcorn stitch? If you were a stitch, what stitch would you be? Yeah, you kind of seem like a double crochet type of girl. But yeah, maybe I'll quiz them at my next one, but I don't know. It is kind of interesting just to check out the other booths, but I feel like it's so obvious like to tell when it's like, oh, this person makes their stuff because it's like patterns that I've seen before. And I'm like, I've made a lot of patterns, like I'm like on Crochet Instagram, and I feel like there's like a lot of popular patterns that a lot of people make for markets, and it's like, if I've never seen a single one of those patterns, it's a little suspicious. But it is what it is. You know, you can't control what vendors are going to be there. So overall, it was a decent day. Wouldn't say it was great. It wasn't awful either. But I'd love to know if you have any similar experiences with markets in the comments. Let me know if this is a market you think I should do again, or if you think that I'm justified in not really wanting to do this one again. But next month, I have another event, and it is a new event that I've never done before. So it's in Deep Ellum, and I have done markets at Deep Ellum, although I've never done one through this organizer. So the booth fee was only $75. My sister actually opened a little like boba stand recently, and she's doing her first event with them in a couple of weekends. So she's gonna try to like feel it out, see, you know, if it's gonna be good or not, but I did already sign up. So it was really interesting because they didn't like ask any questions. I just kind of bought like a spot and I said what I made, and they didn't ask for any pictures. So I have a feeling it's not going to be very well curated, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. I'm excited for it though. I always like trying new events, especially when I've been doing the same ones over and over again. I'm excited. And even if it's not like a great event, it was only $75, so it's not like I'm gonna be losing a lot if it doesn't go great. But I will see you guys in the next video. My next video is going to be showcasing some different free crochet patterns that have a whimsical vibe. So if you're into that, please be sure to like and subscribe so that you can get notified whenever that next video comes out. And I appreciate you guys watching. I hope y'all enjoyed coming along for this little rainy market ride. I appreciate each and every one of you who takes time out of your day to support my content. So I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.